Testing 1 2. Testing 1 2. Testing 1 2.
1 2. On too loud. They're fine. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Sportus Volleyball Club YouTube channel. This late afternoon, some may call it this evening, we have our last game of the day, UCU Uganda Christian University versus the Sky. Sky is a stubborn team, by the way. We've seen every game that they play, that they give teams a hard time. And meanwhile, the university boys always motivated and always show signs of intensive training, especially when the boys are on campus. So thank you for tuning in today. We have our lineups there. At UCU, we'll have Mark O'Mara going for the receiver attacker position together with jersey number 4, who I always forget his name, pardon me, viewers. And in the middle, we have Ellie and we have Ian. Setting, we have Hussein Adom, and on opposite, we have Nixon. That's the starting lineup, and we see the Adom is starting on 2 position.
The other one who passes with Mark, I always forget his name.
So Sky has the serve first, and first pass there, and we see Ellie going on the bed, but that is as a result of Mark making that pass on that error pass, which doesn't give setter a high enough for him to be able to set. Unfortunately, the ref has charged for a net attack, and we see jersey number 5 asking for a video challenge there. That's interesting. He knows we have no video challenge, but he's asking for a video challenge. I thought the ball had gone on the band, but the ref says it was a block touch. What color is that card? Oh, the referee has gone straight for the referee card. So just so you know, in volleyball, there is a yellow card and a red card. For someone to get a red card, most of the times they might have insulted the referee, or they might have been involved in violent play against other players. So I'm here in the studio and I'm seeing a red card, but I believe it must be something that he must have said to the referee that has caused that red card, and red card result in the opponent getting a point there. So that means UCU has an advantage there, as they already have 2-0 because of that red card that has been given them. Sorry for the technical issue, but I'm sure you were watching the game. So I'm gonna take you through the sky rotation day. We have the setter, um, jersey number 6, Ivan, and then we have jersey 13, that is Martin, and then we have middle, jersey number 5, Ashrat. We have jersey number 7, Wanjala, and we have jersey number 6. Jersey number 6. Manut. An outball there by Mark O'Mara. For today, I am joined by Alex. The scoreboard will be connected very soon. Our apologies for that. But today I'm joined by none other than. Please say your name, because you are this is your thing. I know today I'm the lead here, but this is your thing. What is your name, guy? Abbott. Yes. Yeah. So yeah, I'm with Abbott today, and it's always a pleasure just doing this thing with him. Yeah, and the score is set now. UCU are leading 6-3. Yeah, we've seen quite shaky plays from both sides even as they started, but Mark goes there with just a clear side out. What are your predictions for today's game, seeing both teams, the way they've played so far in their positions on the table standings?
Well, first of all, thank you for the opportunity. It's always a pleasure working with you, Coach Memory. And heading to the game, I think UCU do have the momentum. They're just coming into this game after a win. A very good win against one of the best teams in the land. They did beat up on Nemo Stars comfortably, so they do have the momentum. Now, the problem with the young boys, university students, is that there is always an element of complacency. So they may think that it is a walkover, even for a team like Sky, but if they don't do that, then they should get a comfortable 3-0 win. And I also think that the way Sky has started, I entered when you were just speaking about a red card. I believe that always has an impact on a team which is not yet mature mentally. So if the Sky team doesn't regroup and work on their mental fortitude, they will have a problem. So my prediction, if UCU keep up the momentum, it is a 3-0.
We can see the score there. 9-4 is the score in favor of UCU. With that save error from Mark, it's 5-9, but still in favor of UCU. But I like what you said. Starting with the red card is always a good sign for a team. I really think the players should be disciplined enough. The players should know what is required of them when they are on that court. But you are right also to say that UCU are coming from a game where they played the best team, the national champions, and they really won comfortably 3-1. And surely coming to this game, they should really just do that 3-0 job without being complacent.
Yeah. And of course, welcome back, Coach Memory. It had been long since you last did this.
Oh yes. Yes, I was a bit tied up at work, but I always make time to try and open the channel and just try and look up. Like I watched the Nemo game. I watched some of the games that were being played, and the UCU boys, they are also there trying to talk to the referee to ask, but I see them making the errors that Abbott was talking about. We heard 3 errors that really are not called for.
Rumor has it that you were meeting several wedding planners, but that is not the conversation for now. So. Oh
yes, so we see Sky there making 3-0 run in terms of scoring points, meaning they've scored 3 points, and UCU slightly letting go of that lead that they had, which I think, but they need to hear what you said. Complacency should not be applied when you're playing teams like Sky, because at times they can be really stubborn, and they're being defended in almost every ball there.
And for Sky, ever since it was established, I think that was around 2014, it has been really on a survival battle. I do not recall, except actually that same year when it was established, but I do not recall after that any season where they came and they were outright league contenders. So they have simply mastered the art of survival in the league. Now, I do not think that is going to be easy for them this particular season, because there are quite a number of teams that are looking at that survival, that are looking for the survival mode. Namely, Elion is in there, Police is in there, Prisons is in there, and so it is going to be a little hard now for Sky. They'll have to really do some extraordinary stuff for them to, be able to.
Yes, meanwhile, we see what you're talking about coming into play there. Ian has gone into the service line and has made several points there. The gap that they had reduced to 2 points, it's now back to 5 points there. And for me, that's where you're talking about. You say they really need to think about it. They need to really think about the teams that came into this league this year. Prisons and Police,
yes.
To me, they really look like they're serious. They really want this thing. And meanwhile, Elion are like, okay, us, we are on a different level this year. We want playoffs, but that's a story for another day. Even as we continue to watch this game that has started in a manner that I'm thinking we need something. Surely at this level, we really want teams to come here and show the world why we're broadcasting these games live. And Nixon, they're having a continuous, and that ball is sent out. And you're like, why? That ball can go nice and easy. Just give your team the chance to defend, because they defended the first one. They can defend the next one. Something
I've also observed about Sky is that when they come into a game with the team they know they will not beat, they usually play, I don't know what to use, but they do not turn up.
I get it.
Yeah, they do not turn up. When they, for example, when they are going to play Sporters, they know they are going to be beaten, so they come with that kind of laissez-faire volleyball. But you see, when they are coming to play a team that they know they can actually pick up a point or 2 or 3 even, they actually turn up. You can see even the kind of volleyball they play is quite different. Now, I do not know what kind of mindset they have against UCU, but I think that they came in this game knowing they cannot actually win against UCU, and so this explains the reason as to why they are playing that kind of games and sports.
Yeah, for me with Sky, I'll never really on a day wake up saying today this is what they're gonna do. They can wake up and decide, oh, we're gonna upset a big team once in a while, and wake up and say, you know what, we're not gonna show up. But we see them counting and most of the scores that they've made really as a result of the UCU boys. I think the boys are looking for the ground.
Yeah.
If you understand what I mean, looking for the ground, because you saw early they going onto the net.
Yeah, but I also think that when you're at university, it is the only place where you can express yourself fully. I mean, if you can hit those balls, pin them, and in university, because you see, when you come to club volleyball, things change. There's some kind of maturity. It's now no longer about the ball that sounds well.
Yeah,
it's about scoring.
That's true. I agree there. Yeah. But talking about what we said about Sky, I think when we look at UCU, we'll look at people like Hussein, who also I feel it depends on how he comes on a certain day. If he comes and you say his mind is up to it, you will see a top class setter. Like lately, I think he's been playing the games for his teammates. But on a day where he comes and mentally he's not that strong, you even see it from where we are. You see him getting worried. We see him getting a lot of errors, and I hope the coaches know that about him. And it's a seesaw. It's a seesaw really for me.
One thing I like about Hussein is that he does not let the pressure get down on him. We have setters who, when the team is, for example, on the losing end, you can see the pressure from the way when they set the decisions they are making. But well, he has, I think, found a way of coping with the pressure, and it's a good thing. It's a good thing for him.
Yes. Nixon on another error there, reducing again the deficit for Sky to 2 points, even as he goes on the net. We saw Ellie went onto the net, Nixon goes onto the net, even when there is one block or even when there is space between the seam. So that speaks a lot of the mindset of these players, like Abbott said, when they're playing the team that they think they can beat. And Mark is shut down there by a good block. He was trying to go down the seam, but the long hands were there and he was blocked. 14-15, 1 point gap only now. And Mark scores while there was a net touch.
But talking about the red card earlier, sorry to take you back. I have also remembered something. There is a tendency by referees, not all though, some referees to get in love with the cards. I don't know what you think about that in relation to the game. I mean, when the referee likes that card so much.
I haven't really seen in Ugandan volleyball a red card. It's actually my first time. And yeah, I think maybe I miss those moments, the moments that I'll be aware that's when I get to miss those. But I do agree that maybe overall there are some referees that this one is not to be messed with. But just like our players, just like our coaches or human beings, there are people that you have to understand that you don't mess with this one, especially when they're going to use the rules correctly to say, if you insult me, I'm not going to give you a warning. I'm just going to give you a card because that's what the volleyball rules say. That ball goes on someone's head, and I do think it was going out.
I don't know. Considering the position where he was standing, it was not going out. Just look at that. You see that? It was.
Okay, that's
okay. Now that's funny.
That's a funny one. Yeah, I think that's one of the funniest I've ever seen. Yeah.
Now that's an interesting one.
Yeah, I like how comfortable though Sky, the middle blocker from Sky. That's yes, check number 6. Manut is just going comfortable with those dumps that are going in between 5 and 6, and UCU libero is not adjusting. But also, did you notice something interesting that I really wanted to talk about? I don't know how I forgot. What's his name? The libero, the usual libero for UCU, Ogusul. He's in a normal jersey today.
Oh yes.
I'm wondering if Sky are looking at that and seeing that.
No, Ogusul has not been in a libero actually. No, he has not.
What do you mean?
Ogusul has been actually playing as a receiver attacker.
Really? For how long?
For UCU, yes.
For how long?
Ogusul, yes.
Because the game against Nemo, he was playing his normal position.
Ogusul is not one of the liberos. You're talking about the libero. Opus. Actually, sorry, Ogusul. Oh, okay. Now, my bad.
That's why I said I'm not going to argue. I'm just going to keep quiet.
Okay, now that is a surprise. Yes, I'm now also surprised.
Yeah, now also surprised. Yeah, yes, he's there and he's in a normal kit. I saw him earlier on. But yeah, let's see if Sky will be able to exploit that.
I think that's an interesting one.
Yeah, it is an interesting one. But for me, that also goes to show how they've really looked at this game and they're like, we can do what we want. Yeah.
And let me hope they're not going to get complacent, like Alia said.
They do look like they're in the driving seat. I mean, for me, they've made really a lot of errors, especially on that side out. But while they're making those errors, they're still able to get points from, especially the service we've seen.
Well, you could say that Sky is also making its own errors. So
yeah, true.
There is some kind of balance. So yeah, they're not getting the effect of the errors. So
and they're choosing to pick out on Mark there, and the pass didn't go through. It was an error, and back to that 1 point lead from coming from 3. Now it's 19-20.
Mark, the captain, he ought to lead by example.
Oh yes, I feel like he is always leading by example, though he also at times may struggle from a bit of mental strength when it comes to where if the sets are not very high or if the sets are not speedy.
Another interesting observation we did make last Wednesday when UCU was beating up on Nemo. a Nemo player is a UCU coach.
That's true.
Now, I wonder what they had to go through when they went for team talk back to Nemo. I don't know what is.
He said all our secrets out. But what do you think? Is it professional to leave a team that you were coaching and get to the other side and say, look, guys, this is how we always play?
First of all, I think it is only Uganda which is doing that. Number two, I think it is very unprofessional.
It is very unprofessional.
Yeah, very unprofessional.
I do also think it is very unprofessional. I feel like people should be able to get out there and study and analyze the games for themselves.
Exactly.
Instead of spilling.
You do not have that kind of, that you a player in one team and then you're coaching another, and then so what happens when they meet? It is bad. It is bad.
Yeah. So 1920 there, Sky is on 19, UCU is on 20, and
I think that the best thing that, for example, that coach of UCU would have done is then to sign for UCU and becomes a coach player, the way Elias was, the former coach of UCU.
I don't think there is need. If really he's a qualified coach, I think he has every right to be a coach. But all I'm saying is he should maybe be able to analyze the games instead of really looking at this is how we used to play. You should be able to sit down with your boys and analyze. I mean, games are always there online, and ask the boys, what can you see? And then the boys say, oh, this is what we can see about this team. And then you make the strategy, not coming out from you as a coach using your previous knowledge, but coming from what you can see.
I get it.
But yeah.
And there's a contestation on that ball which has just landed, the attack, from the attack.
Followed by an error there. And I'm wondering today on the Sky bench, I seem not to see several players, but because I might not know them well by name, but I feel like there are some players. Would you care to share with the viewers which players who have made an impact on the Sky bench are not around today?
On which team?
Sky.
The players they're missing. They're actually not missing very many. Actually, they are not missing any player.
They're not missing any player?
No. They actually have all their players around.
Oh, that's interesting. I really thought they were missing some players. You see, you're still comfortable on that driver's seat without them doing much, really.
Yeah.
I don't think they're really.
I think this is the case where you're not doing anything, but the other team is doing the points for you.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and quite a lot of
that.
errors there. Yeah. From where I am with Abbott here, we can see quite a lot of lack of support for one another for the Sky team. Some people throwing hands, but that could also speak a lot about.
Well, you want to talk about the team?
Yes.
The team dynamics in
the
there?
team dynamics in there. But somebody here is saying, are you sure that coach told that to his players really? No, we didn't say we're sure. We literally spoke about that if he did, that would be lack of professionalism. We actually said what we think should be the key thing to happen. Agatha, maybe you didn't quite hear us properly. We literally took it nicely. We said what someone should do maybe as a coach is watch the game with your players and see how the opponent players play. And then you have your team come up with a strategy.
Actually, I want to confirm that that's actually what we said.
Yes, go ahead.
That is exactly what we said. But like you've already noted, it is actually not a correct practice for. Personally, I don't think it is correct for someone to be coaching one team and playing with and playing in another in the same series. I think there are chances that I don't know. Let me ask Deo here, a long-standing soccer and a former player, what he thinks about that. What do you think?
We are still a very small community, so such things are supposed to happen. But the coaches commission at one time was working upon it for ethical purposes. Play for one team, coach another one. There's bound to be some illegalities, but they are working on it. But it's just that we have a very small community, so.
Well, you heard it. I think it goes down to the rules. We need to have those rules in place because it looks bad. It definitely looks bad. But of course, that is the end of the first set, and UCU leading that one. It did end 25.
Mark is a good attack there. Welcome again if you're joining us on Sport's YouTube volleyball page. You're watching the Ugandan Volleyball Federation Serie A League, where we have the men's game, Uganda Christian University, UCU versus Sky Volleyball Club, and the sets are 1-0, UCU boys leading there. Just a bit of information, the boys have been in the playoffs, at least from what I know, for the past 2 years when I've been in this country, with them being in the finals the previous year and last year bowing out at the playoffs. The errors by Sky are not really helping, even as that lead continues. A block touch going outside there by Hussein, the setter, and the score is 4-4. It's quite interesting that some players, very clever, they're able to use the short blockers and hit that ball towards the short blocker. While it feels to me like some players close their eyes when they're attacking, and they just go all the way and they meet a blocker and they're blocked. Mark there with another side out. I would say for today, Mark seems really to be solid in his attacks and solid there even with his service. Is in the first set he had a couple of ace saves as well. He's still looking for the line there to try and take advantage of that short blocker. Unfortunately, he's going out. The first one was defended by Nixon, and he got a touch. It seems he got a touch in as much as the ball went out, and that's a side-out point for them, even as the points go to 5-5 to 5-4. Another error which is really not helping for Sky. I think both teams are playing quite a shaky game, like they're not stable in passing, at least especially if it's after a defense, and they're not stable in terms of setting those high sets to give attackers an opportunity to attack. UCU loves the quick set play kind of play, but really if the quick sets are not that high, you're not giving the opportunity to your attackers to have that full swings. They just have to rush everything. Ian will have to retake the serve there, even as the ref says I had not blown my whistle. Manut manages to squeeze that middle set. You can tell, honestly, that Ivan wants to be running those middle, especially every time the passes come. He is playing that in-system ball. And that's an ace serve. I love those kind of services. That's seriously tactical, just going down the line, and you give the passer the ability to try and think, is it in, is it out? At times they can then make errors, but in this case, he left it thinking it's out. Same target he's going for. However, that ball is passed well, and Mark just has to pass that ball, and it's defended. Another opportunity for Sky, and they get the point from a block touch. I think UCU has stopped being aggressive, and those passes are not really quite going through for the past two balls, leading Sky to take that lead on the pass, on the scores. 8-6 to Sky. An error there from Manut, even as he tried to look for that zone 5. Looking for Opus to say, I will not give you the opportunity to pass and follow, but also I'll try and make sure that your middle doesn't have the chance to attack. So the line attack actually is really paying off. It seems every attacker from Sky is going on the line, and scores are not reflecting what I think it should be. It should be 9-7 on scores, 9-7 in favor of UCU. Another error, but it looks like Sky are basically a team that will try and get a point anyhow. We can see them complaining there, but from where I am, that ball really comfortable, looks as if it's outside, and the scoreboard has been corrected there. Mark with that dump that is comfortably picked up. They might be paying for it. Unfortunately, they don't pay for that dump that Mark passed over. Is the attacker from Sky sends that ball onto the net as well. A good block there that is continuous by Eli, and he passes that ball himself, and Mark goes on for that power. Mark is very, very strong when it comes to the sets that come, and they're very quick, and they've managed to get that break point finally, and they're leading now 9-10. Opus really seems to be sending his serves to the libero, and the libero is passing that comfortably well. I'm wondering what could be the reason he's serving to the libero, who for me has really passed well those 3 serves that he sent to him. It's just his teammates were failing to get side out, and they finally get that side out from that backcourt play there.
Thank you, Coach Memory. I do see a comment here by Michael Ainomogisha saying, hope the boys don't get injuries on this ground. I'm kindly requesting that you clarify. Yeah, because the intention is for us to get better and to improve the grounds as much as possible. So just tell us how you want us to improve these grounds better and what exactly you mean by that. But it's a good comment. Yeah, we have taken note.
Ellie gets an ace there, increasing the lead. Yeah, I think the libero thought twice there. He was like, is it going out? Is it in? And then last minute he decided to pass it, but he was high up. He couldn't drop his shoulder. He couldn't drop his knees, and he ended up batting that ball.
Well, going by the experience the libero has, I am not sorry for him. I think he should have simply done better.
Oh, he's got experience?
Yeah, he's
experienced libero.
Yeah.
Okay, yes, I take it. Maybe he should have done better. But, you know, at times, because volleyball at times is determined by a lot of things, the speed of the ball, the floating effects of the ball. So, yeah, you will not be surprised to think that he was probably thinking the ball is going out there. And we see Sky taking the first time out for the second set. Back to the game. Let's see if Ellie gets that serve in, because the timeout most of the times is to just mentally cause the server to lose that serve. But the Uganda Christian University boys say, no, you cannot pass here. And that is a block assist by Ian. Market placed that block very well for him, and they get that point as well. I think Ian is, for me, one of the volleyball players that I say has mostly improved looking at the volleyball and the time frame that he's been playing volleyball. And that's what you want to see from players.
You're talking about Ian, the UCU player? The UCU player?
Yes,
I
Ian.
think, I agree with you. He has improved, yeah, that is true.
NASB say, I believe the Coaches Commission can come with some rules or limitations to address conflict of interest issues surrounding coaching. I believe so too. Yeah, I believe those are some of the issues that could be said. But also, thinking about the way Nemo is as an organized team, I think there could be some kind of agreement for him to be coaching that team. Honestly, there are teams that I've seen their structures, I've seen how they carry themselves around, and even himself, Deo, as a player, I would say to me, he looks like a player who would really go and get that information from his team to say, look, this is what is there. So, yeah, but we will.
But also the pressures of our economy.
Oh, yes, that could be a factor as well. So someone just compares it and says, what do I want, vis-a-vis playing, what is more worthwhile to me as a person and to my family. You see you still comfortable in the lead there with 4 points. We will be giving you the table standings, a block out by Hussein there.
Yeah, very good.
You see the era that players are always being taught by their coaches, but at times it's hard for them to think about block and turn your hands onto the court.
Onto the court. That is a conversation, a song. Actually, coaches should turn that into a song of some sort, because it is a problem for them. And you see what players do, they just put those arms out there. They don't make any kind of change.
That's true. I believe that's why we actually have coaches on the sideline. So, and that's why you will be able to have a coach call a player and say, hey, this is what you should have done on the ball. So basically that's the role of a coach when they are on on the
On the
side.
touchline.
It's not that they are really coaching staff that they should be training. They're just sending out reminders.
But you see, when I was reading some few things about the substitution, Ian being taken off, it looks like an injury. It seems looks like he's injured. You can see he's limping off.
And that would be a serious scare for the UCU coach, because he's just recovered from a knee surgery. He spent almost 3/4 of the season not playing last year, and he's just come back. And we were talking about him as being the most improved player.
But pro player, yeah.
So for this to happen to him, honestly, it would be so sad if that is an injury.
I was talking about something I read in the coach's manual, that you see usually coaches have not much to say when they're on the touchline, when the game is in progress.
True.
So I think they can only throw in a few things. Now the challenge is that because the players are in the game and their mind is in the game, it is not a guarantee that as a coach, when you say something, a player will actually pick it up.
I think let me clarify on that for me being a coach as well. So apparently what we were told and what we read about is that as a coach, you're there to remind your players, but you're also there to say, look, the strategy that we came up with, the opponent has countered that strategy. We might need to adjust and play this way or that way, but also we need to learn our own players to know which player can get in information and process it while playing.
So what you're saying is that you'll identify a player.
Definitely.
Okay, that is interesting.
So it's not all the players that we always give feedback to, and we don't give them the same way, and we don't give them like all the time. So it varies according player to player, but definitely it's for the reminders. We see Sky there trying to come back. Can you see that after that injury?
You think that that injury is going to have a serious impact on UCU?
Honestly, I doubt, because Ayala is as solid middle blocker as Ian.
As Ian.
Yes, and Ayala, I think when it comes to mental strength, he's strong. Ayala takes his time to think through it, and he's one of the boys that, because I've heard some time with him, he's able to listen to instruction.
Okay. But of course, it is always not good for players to get injured.
Well, it's not a good side. It's not a good side. 19-15 is the score there. The middles from Sky have really scored so well today with those dumps. I mean, I like what Ivan is doing, honestly, giving UCU some homework to do. Yeah, it's easily.
You can even see them smile. You can see Omo there down, and he can't
yes,
believe
they're
it.
smiling. They're like, but guys, how are we being scored? And Ellie is still thinking about it, even as they save. It doesn't seem like Ellie is really putting that energy that he put in, like you said last week when he was playing
against
Nemo. Like you can tell he's going lackadaisically for that ball there, you know.
Oh, that's a very terrible set.
That was not a good set, and they're going to be punished for it. Unfortunately, Nixon on 1v1.
They get lucky.
With that diagonal, chooses to go out, and we see Ogusul, and we can hear the fans clapping. So in case you're joining us, we have a substitution there. Opus going out, and Ogusul getting in there is the other receiver attacker. But basically, just to give you a bit, Ogusul is normally plays as a libero. So these are one of the few times that he gets the opportunity to play as a receiver attacker there. (18-20). Sky is down by 2 points, and UCU still leading with 2 points. That's good difference there by the experienced libero that you spoke about from Sky. But unfortunately, Mark says, okay, you defended that one. I'm coming hard this time around. And he takes his team to 21-18.
There is something I've observed, and I can actually mention about 4 or 5 teams. They play exceptionally well, but when they reach 19, 18, 20, something simply happens. Now, Sky is one of them. Prisons, KCCA, KFVC. I don't know. How do you explain that as a coach?
I think most of the times it's that time where really you want players to be most attentive. So it could either be the quality of the players that you have in terms of their listening capacity, but also it could be a training issue. I do remember that our instructor, I use our instructors because it's worth going for these training,
Yes.
like to get your level 1, your level 2. They literally emphasize that train everything that you want to do in the game. Train for it. What do I mean by that? Okay, that's a good attack there
Yeah,
from
Omo, the captain.
yes, from the captain there, Omara. But as I was still saying,
Yes.
so you want to have your team and say you have 22 and the opponent has 20, or either you have 20 and the opponent has 22. Let's finish this game. So and from my experience and as a coach and from seeing other coaches, we underlook these things when it comes to training. We underlook things like players have to be looking at the scoreboard. I always get worried when I see a game is going on and there's no scoreboard.
Or even there's even no person interested in knowing how the
scores.
scoreboard is standing. Yeah.
Yes. So we see Nick.
Yeah, but I agree with you as that substitution comes on. I agree with you that training doesn't lie. It never lies.
Training never lies.
Yeah.
Whatever you train is what you will see. Whatever a player puts in, it's what they will get out. And we see an ace there before someone who has gotten in touch with the ball.
That's an interesting one. But of course, now you see you do have 2 sets.
Oh, yes.
And Sky have 0. Nothing significant has changed from my prediction.
Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
I should take this to the bank then.
I guess so. But yeah, I think Sky really needs to challenge them a bit. I mean, we've seen them challenge the Sporters. Remember the other time, the game that ended up being cancelled?
Yeah.
It was 2 sets apiece, was it?
Yes, it was 2-0 by the time it was cancelled.
Yes.
And nothing changed when they met again that same weekend.
I think there's always a myth behind that. Every time a team that is weaker, if they lead and then the game doesn't finish, the next time they come back, they suffer for
Are
it.
you trying to insinuate that Sporters is a weaker team as compared to Sky?
No, Sky is the weaker team.
Yeah, because it was Sporters which had the 2 sets.
No, that game, Sky was it 2
Oh, yeah.
sets as well.
No. It was Sporters leading 2-0.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, I don't know where I saw it. I think the media that I referred to must have told me something else. I thought the sets were actually 2 apiece.
10 years ago, Sky took a set of Sporters. 10 years ago. But that hasn't happened of recent.
Wow.
And they would need to do a lot for that to happen again.
Okay, meanwhile, while we're having this set break, we will go through the table standings.
Yes.
For Serie A men, the Uganda Volleyball Federation, live on the Sporters YouTube. We have Sporters on top. I think for the past 3 years I've been in this country, it's just always been the case. The first few weeks until last year when Sporters and Nemo towards the end were exchanging it.
Yeah.
The last few weeks, yes. And then we have the surprise here, Elion, the young boys. You know,
the students.
The students actually, they've really played so well. They've really surprised teams.
You know, someone made a joke. And allow me to make this joke. Someone said that the day Elion beats KVC is the day we will know whether the word amateur in KVC is real or a joke.
Unfortunately for me, that joke didn't quite hit home, because Elion is one of the teams that frustrated KVC last year by beating them. Yes, while I was still head coach of KVC.
Oh, how many? They beat them home and away?
No, not home and away.
Once.
Not once. And that was a sad day for the team.
So it actually means Elion actually have the capacity of beating up on KVC properly.
Well, I wouldn't want to rub it in the way you're rubbing it in, because KVC is a big club.
Well, I'm being cynical and sarcastic.
They do have the capacity, just like they've beaten all the other teams. They do have the capacity. But for me, it's not about beating a team. It's about getting to the playoffs, lest we forget. Because last year, KVC was being beaten by everyone, and they got to the playoffs. Need I remind you? So I hope even as coaches go out there, they remind their players about the end goal. You know, I mean, of which right now the steps that Elion is taking are pretty good steps. We're back live. Let's
For
see
the
if
third
we have
set.
any changes. Do you want to give us the lineups there?
No significant changes. For example, for Team Sky, I see they have brought the same players, except for I think shot number 2, the Muzungu. Yeah, but and of course for Team UCU, I see Ogusul there. Ogusul has started, and they opted for Ogusul for Ian, and for the obvious reasons, I think Ian does have and of course Ayala is also in there for Ian. I think Ogusul has replaced Opus. Yeah, those are the 2 changes.
And so we live to see if Sam coming in and if the change that Sky, the 2 changes that Sky have made, we live to see if they're going to make a difference. But Sam is quite an experienced player, and Sam is jersey number 10. Sky is in yellow and black, while UCU is in navy blue and red there. So Ogusul comfortable takes the first side out there, going where the middle blocker was laid.
The number 2 is Benjamin.
Benjamin.
Okay. And of course,
there, that was quite a good set actually, because there was just one blocker there, and he looks for too much. And
just to tell you, 2 years ago, when that shot number 9 had just graced the courts of Uganda, that is Shafiq, he was exceptional. You know, he used to hit those balls back court, front. He was good, but now I don't know what happened. Something.
Shot number 2?
No, shot number 9.
Shot number 9. Okay. Yes.
You were still telling us about the log standings.
Yes. So we also have police there. Please note, this is before anything has been updated for this week.
That's actually match day 3.
Match day.
So we have actually not got match day 4 and today, and match day 5.
And match day 5.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're yet to update for match day 4 and match day 5, but this is what it is. I'll say Elion on 2nd, then UCU on 3rd, police on 4th. KCCA are sitting comfortable on 5th, though I feel like KCCA, most of the times they're always sitting either somewhere on 5th or 6th, promising as if they want to get into the playoffs, but we'll see this year. Nemo are sitting on 6th.
Surprise.
That's a surprise. However, I would say for Nemo, they've played the teams that would say are the big teams. Remember, KFC took points from them.
Yeah.
He took a point from them as well. And
Elion beat them.
No,
Elion beat Nemo.
Really?
Yes.
How did I miss that?
No. Sorry. I meant it's actually UCU which beat them.
So that's where Nemo could have dropped those points there. Then we have Ndeje on 7th, and we have KVC on 8th there, which is one team that everyone will be looking out for them to rise into the top 4 there. And then we have Prisons and Sky on red, but Sky is at the bottom of the log standings, while Prisons is just slightly above them, but they're both on red there.
And I do not see Sky coming up there at the bottom, because they have lost the last 2 matches. Okay, the last 1 match now, this includes it, because this looks like a loss. They have lost 2 matches now, so I don't see them coming up.
Yes, and back to the game, we have early serving there while the scores are 4 apiece, and this is what we expect from a game of volleyball.
And there's an interesting comment there for you.
People really, when the game starts, you'll see the scores are going head to head, just back and forth there. Asimwe Muhezi says this season Elion is going to hammer KVC hands down. I don't know whether to comment as a former head coach of KVC or to comment, but let me choose to comment about what is happening on the ground. Elion has really played very well this season. Elion has beaten KVC before, so that will be no news. I mean, I think maybe if Elion beats Sporters, to me that will be news. But for me, Elion beating KVC, I feel like people are not watching volleyball because Elion has beaten. So for me, it's not something to really be writing about and posting about. But also, KVC is one team that you cannot really just wake up and say sorry. So, and lest you know, I've never really said these words, but last year there was a team that spoke too much, or people spoke too much about a team beating KVC, but that we never lived to see that. So when you talk about KVC, we need to also show that respect, that they are quite a big club and quite a big team. I feel like people in the previous weeks were not even expecting KVC to get those 2 sets from Nemo again. So yeah, let's see and watch the game. But Elion is playing well. Let's not take away anything from them.
I think on that issue, there's only one team. Yeah, it's just one thing. There's only one team that has gotten comfortable beating KVC, and I want to agree with you. KVC is a team, when you're going to play them, you're not actually sure what the results are. So I agree with you.
That's true. 7-5 UCU is leading now. Nixon serving, and he chooses to go to the libero, who passes slightly off the expected zone, and that hard attack there is picked up, and Mark O'Mara is doing what Mark O'Mara can do with those quick sets.
Yeah, usually when he gets into the game and he's psyched up, he can do a lot of damage. And of course now UCU do extend their lead to 8.
I've always said that Mark O'Mara is really a player that is somehow underrated, yet he's actually can play his volleyball, I think.
Well, I have my reservations on that. I think that he's a good player for an average team. He's a very good player for an average team. I don't think Mark O'Mara would thrive in a team like Nemo or Sportes. I don't think so.
I feel like he gets less opportunity. But for me, if you were to follow his statistics, even every time they played big teams, from the time I came into this country at least and started watching UCU play, he always played in those big games. So I feel like what you're saying, is an average player. You are watching.
No, I've said he's a good player for an average team.
So you're saying UCU is an average team?
Yeah, it is.
So what are your big teams then in Uganda? If UCU is an average,
it is not among the big teams.
Wow, interesting. Timeout there for Sky. The scores are 9-5 to UCU. Well, just so you know it, if you're watching, I think the big teams in volleyball in Uganda are Nemo, Sportes, UCU, KVC, at least as of last year. And I'm saying this because I'm using stats. I'm saying this because I'm using the past 2 years I've been here. Those have been the top 4 teams. So in any case, for me, stats don't lie.
Yeah, well, even if we went back 4 years, stats-wise, yes. But for me, I think that UCU is a very predictable team. I know what they will come out to do every year. I know that they will simply turn up and do what they're supposed to do. But I still don't think that they have so much. Well, that's what I think. And I hope I'm
that
wrong.
ball is sent onto the net there, and definitely UCU enjoying that freebie, and Nixon gets an ace, and the score is 11-5.
Well, if you calculated, I think Nixon now has around three aces. Yeah, since he has been delivering them.
Sorry about that. We had a technical breakdown at the sound. But yeah, we are back, and we have someone saying Sky has failed to read the game. Muslim Mark is just passing as he wishes. And then Agatha is saying, this is serious. UCU is an average team, and UCU is among the best teams in Uganda. Sport is Nemo, then UCU. I agree with you, Agatha. Sky is playing like they've given up. I also agree as well there. That's too big a lead. And you see the coach for UCU has really put in all the substitution that he has, like he keeps rotating them.
Well, I think he's getting comfortable. Let me hope he's not becoming complacent. Because usually when you're leading 2-0 and then we have that lead 16-10, I think then you start giving subs and giving an opportunity for other players. But you see, with that, we did have a problem with when Elion was beating Police. The Elion coach did make similar substitutions and almost lost the set until he brought them back.
Yeah, but I feel like it always goes back, the challenge goes back to the players. Like you have a 6-point lead, yeah? And then now the coach is trying to have other players to get game time. So I feel like people on the bench should also be really psyched up to go in and prove why the coach has put them. Otherwise, they will spend the rest of the season without having that game time.
Let me ask a question from a coach's perspective. At what point is the coach allowed to comfortably make a substitution, especially in relation to giving other players game time?
First of all, substitution, like you said, is normally if things are not going well for your team, or if things are going very well, like we've seen here for UCU. So if things are not going well, most of the times you'll say towards the end of the first set, going to beginning of the second set, as a coach you should have read to say next set these are the changes that I'm going to make. But if things are going very well, I would say a point gap for a men's game, like 5 points, that's a good lead for other players to get that playing chance. I don't know what you think as well.
I think it also depends on the opponent.
Yeah,
it depends on the opponent. I mean, you're not going to, even if you have a comfortable lead, for example, if they had a comfortable lead but they were playing Nemo, I don't think it would be wise to risk that unless you've given up on the game entirely.
I also feel like it also depends on the mental strength of the players. To say you may come on a day where you're playing Nemo and they're outperforming, maybe Nemo is in the lead. The coach can then make these substitutions because they want maybe to have that person to breathe and see the game from outside, and then they put them back, even if they know that the receiver attack I'm putting is a bit weaker. But they're saying, you know what, I want to rest this one so that they clear their mind. They've been blocked several times, you know. So it really varies the mental strength of the player. Are you making a substitution to correct something? Are you making a substitution to say, look, for today you have contributed well?
And let's give an opportunity to others.
Yes.
Okay. Sky here attempting to cut that deficit.
Oh yes, we see that. Sky is enjoying Serie A, but I think it will be a big prayer for them to remain in Serie A.
That's a comment. Yeah, but it is something I said at the beginning. I think that Sky is going to have it rough this time around staying in Serie A. They'll have to do a lot of work.
Oh yes, and we see some of the substitutions that have come in there, making enforced errors, getting that ball out. He had done well to read that there's the seam that was left there, but however he could have cupped his hands more. And a set error there for that middle attack. And like you said, now the point is 15 3 points gap, yet it was like 6 or 7.
Yeah. And you can hear the fans rallying. Sam who is going to set that serve that they are going there.
And that's an ace there. And also take note that when the coach reverses the substitutions, he will definitely not be able to put everybody in, depending on the number of subs that
he has. Yes.
Yeah, because there's only 6 substitutions that a coach is allowed to make in a set. Finally, we get a side up.
A break. Yeah. They needed that. I mean, UCU needed that. If Sam had given an ace, it would have been another problem.
That's true.
I think the blockout should have done better. You can see he's quite disappointed.
Yeah, that's what I say. That's when the coach then can get to say, look, guys, just get those hands across the net down, because those hands were there. And they're
Nice
being
block.
blocked. That's a good block there. That's a good block. I think that's definitely what I would tell the team to do. They put in their team that you like in your head, know that they are not as strong as their first team. I mean, also show that ability to be able to say, look, we're same age boys, man.
And if you could have seen from that camera that shot, that block, that is something that we are attempting to do. That we're attempting to try out something and see if it can work, especially for round 2 and the playoffs. We want to see if we can be able to give you those net violations and all that.
I think that really would be very, very good for the association, to get to be able to have maybe coaches go to a TV and see and make those challenges, and we see what it could change. It could even strengthen our referees as well.
That is exactly where we're heading.
Wow, well done.
And we hope we achieve that.
Well done, S Media. That's really something big for the country. Please do continue watching. If you're joining us, UCU is leading 2-0 on sets, and right now they are leading. 2019, a 6-point lead has gone down there.
It's now 1 point.
I suspect we might be seeing a change of the setter. I would like to think the coach might start by changing the setter. This is just me thinking out aloud.
But then I would ask you, do you think the problem is with the setter?
The problem is not with the setter, actually.
I feel that setters sometimes are blamed for no reason, because I don't think the setter is doing anything wrong.
I didn't blame the setter, but
No, I'm not saying you are blame. Yeah, but I'm just thinking. I've said sometimes, because just look at what the attacker did. Look at what the attacker did.
Send the ball into the net.
Yeah, I think for me that is unacceptable. And I think they have even removed him. Yeah, he has been taken out.
Mm-hmm. Thank God they kept the setter. I mean, if it was me coaching, I would have removed the setter, just to try and see something in my mind. But yeah, the lead is now only. Oh, there's no lead anymore. It's 20 ups.
Yes.
And Mark sends that ball out as well. But like we said, Mark in running, so it's a hard task for him.
Now,
but you can see the morale of the team also.
And now there I can start thinking it is the setter's problem.
Oh, I get what you mean. Yes, true. And also there's a bit of laziness with this setter. How many sets has he given to that position, like, honestly?
Yeah, I also feel the setter is not being creative.
Yeah.
He has been pushing balls why?
Maybe Sky is deciding to give this UCU is deciding to give this set away.
Wow, what kind of generosity.
And Sky is leading 22-20. But you see, one of the players, instead of concentrating, is talking to someone outside there. For me, it says a lot. And the ball. And they've scored again.
Yes.
The setter decided to dump. And Coach Dewo there says, I am not putting anyone back. I'm not calling a timeout. If you're going to lose the set, it's up to you. At times, you might try and see that maybe the coach is proving a point. Maybe there are some players who feel like they never get game time.
Well, it is also a good sign for the coach. You want to see how mentally stable your players are. But of course, now the setter has been removed.
Yes, you're saying their first choice setter is back there. Their starter, let me say, not first choice, their starter. And I like the fact that they are loading Mark there. And Mark also says, okay, this is Hussein, I'm going to attack.
So then, let us have this conversation. What was wrong with the other setter?
For me, maybe it was firstly the speed. Look at that ball. It's up and down, but there's a bit of speed on it.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, but
set point there.
Yeah, set point, Sky. But I also feel that UCU still have what it takes to take the entire game.
They do, but now they don't look mentally ready for that. And I've seen such games go to 2-2, where the coach started thinking it's a joke until, and look at that.
Oh,
That's a very short set.
Ayala decides that he's tired.
No, Ayala didn't decide that he was high. That set was very short.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was very short. Let's look at it again. Look at where that set was. Look at there. Doesn't have room
Yeah,
to
I
complete
agree.
his approach. Yes, and Sky takes a set. Did they take it or they were given?
I think they were given the set.
UCU gives a set to Sky.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
Yeah, they were given a set.
Asimo is agreeing with me, saying the setter is down. If it was me, I would also take out the setter. Yeah, I mean, we didn't see the setter trying to send the ball to 2. Like the past 6 sets that we saw, not 6, probably they can get me to 8. They were all 4 sets. Until Usain came, and that's when you saw him trying to set that middle set. Welcome back. The set scores are 2-1. UCU has 2 and Sky has 1. I thought UCU will never survive without Angelo. I'm sure you're not the only one, Isaac. But it's a good thing to see clubs evolve when a player that is ranked highly leaves their club and the other players really come out of their shells and they start to perform. It's a good thing, and thank you for that comment. So on the lineup, we see Opus is still outside. So we see there a change in the referees. The second ref has changed, and I've seen the second ref was there, run out. Yeah, I do hope all is well. I hope he's not either sick or either some emergency, because most of the times that's what has to be the reasons for referees to change.
I also hope it is not pressure.
I don't think they are allowed to change because of pressure, especially if teams have not complained. But also, if teams complain, it depends on the deliberation by mostly the SOC, if he's there, or his other referees, to say, is this worth changing the referee because the teams have complained? So that's why I'm thinking it could be some emergency or some health issue.
So what happens if, as a referee, I feel I need to change? I feel I cannot proceed.
To be honest, I've never really heard of that, so I wouldn't have a direct answer, but I would love to say that you guys as referees might agree, then you talk to the teams, and if you decide you are changed, but that doesn't set a good precedence for your career as a referee.
Yeah, that is true.
See a lot of continuous attacks there until Nixon says, you know what, I will throw you down. I've been doing a block continuous. This time I'll throw you down, take you down.
He's enjoying that one.
Oh yes, he normally enjoys himself by the way. We get those ones.
And this guy is
we get those ones in any game. For me, that's a signature of any game. I don't like games that don't have the win or wingers.
But there are people who have mastered that art.
Yeah. Shout out to Ichechuku Odogo, who's watching.
Ikechuku.
Yes, you don't know him. Remember what you said earlier on. Let's keep it there. The score is
okay.
1-3. Sky has 1, UCU has 3.
Very good attack that from Nixon.
That attack seemed like it was in actually. Like way on court.
Yes. What they have said it was off?
The Sky is going there to say it was off. Yes, they are contesting it. I thought that ball was way on.
You can see, yeah, that's the replay.
Way on court.
10 kilometers on.
And it hit the player outside after it had bounced. Oh my goodness.
That ball is on.
It's on court. It's on court. Thank you for that replay. That's our main guy here who's always doing the things.
Ken,
well done, Ken. We appreciate you.
Should think about
easy pick for Hussein there, and Mark goes through.
Why? I think ECU is starting with serious intent.
I mean, for me, they had intent this whole game until the third set, where even from here we could tell that they wanted just Sky to have that set. But yeah, this set they're really like, okay, we're back up. But it's good to see that at least it didn't take away any of their mental aspect. Good set there. Oh, Nixon is blocked.
And I've just remembered someone who commented that he thought UCU would never survive with Angiro. Well, UCU has had very many exceptional players. So, and they have survived. So I don't think Angiro's departure would really, university sides by their way, they always bring in players and they move, they come and go, they come and go. So
I mean, that's true. Being a university setup, it's really hard to keep the players there. Nixon having a go at that ball again, and he chooses to go down the line, and he gets it easily done. But yeah, I like the fact that at least now Sky really seems to be like, after getting that cert, after being given that cert, they really seem to be like, okay, we want this as well. The bullets are coming, but they're doing everything to try and counter the Nixon on a block again. He's had quite an above average game, actually. We thought it was Mark, but I'm seeing he's attacking, he's blocking as well.
Yeah, he is. Yeah. Actually, you spoke about players that have improved. I think Nixon has actually improved very much. Yeah, he has improved so much.
Blocks after blocks by UCU there. And it's good to see outsiders blocking, actually.
Yeah, it is, yeah. And usually when I see outside attackers blocking, I know that the opponent is definitely now losing that one.
True. Substitution there, Ivan, jersey 8, Sky is going out. Benjamin is coming in to do the certain job. And Sam is playing opposite Oko.
What was that?
Goes too hard on the net.
What in the service was that?
It's always good to see a team when they defend and they then get a transition and they score that point from there. Though I feel like that could have been blocked better by Mark O'Mara there.
Nice pass.
That set didn't reach. Mark forced it through and it went over. Also a bit of shakiness on the Sky block there.
Yeah.
We've seen only one solid blocker. Manut.
Manut.
Yes, everyone else they're just a bit shaky. But that was Manut also.
But that was also good play from Omo. I mean, Costa in the bad set and he made sure that he scores on that one.
Yeah, that's true.
I think as a coach, that is what you expect of your players. It's always frustrating when those emergency balls.
That's true. Ayala going there with a block and it goes out. Yeah, Sky have also, they look like they're back to that giving up thing. I thought UCU handing them that set, clearly they would really try and be like, okay, maybe we can actually upset them, but they do look like what you said earlier on to say, you know what, when Sky decides we're being hammered, they literally be like, okay, just do what you want. And I haven't seen Sam because normally Sam is mature, he can think and he has an impact. What do you take of his game today?
Well, I think it's a weekend. Well, those are now the third service error.
Yes.
From Nixon.
Really, we are a bit quiet when it comes to this game because the flow of the game, sometimes the way you commented is determined by the flow of the game. So if you notice...
No, but we're observing.
Yeah,
but also the other thing I've observed, and I've been listening and watching a lot of videos. I don't think volleyball commentary is like football commentary.
That's true.
Yeah. Alex Mugoda here saying, I always give my thanks to Sports Media. You deserve big and bigger blessings for the efforts made to see volleyball stay together as one family. Thank you, Alex. That's the coach of KCCA.
Oh, Coach Alex. Oh, thank you, Coach Alex. I think I didn't. I always forget his other name, like his you call it surname. I know his first name. Thank you, Coach Alex. Yeah, I also always appreciate them because when I'm not here, I'm able to watch the games and it makes you feel like, you know what, I am there.
Yeah.
You know, but it's actually a good thing also for coaches. In case you didn't know, Ken, coaches are actually going back to use these videos as analysis, and it's really helping.
Really?
So much. Yes, which is a good thing.
Well, that is shocking.
No, that's not shocking.
I know. I didn't know that actually people would go back and watch these videos and
Oh, actually, teams do. I mean, at least I used to. I know why I'm saying that is last year when you guys started, I would go to your page and be like, okay, this is who I'm playing next. Let me see them when they played this team. Let me see them when they played us. And I would really be upset when you guys don't. Because remember last year, some days you would not come. So when you guys would not come, I would really be like, no, why?
Oh, well, it is satisfying when you say that, coach.
You're welcome.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So 14-7, UCU still in the driver on the driver's seat there. Ogusu goes extra and has a touch on the net.
So you attempted to explain one of the reasons as to why Ogusu might have been converted into a normal player. Why do you think?
I wanted to see who's on the bench, but I didn't see one of the Nespal brothers, Angiro's brother. So
he's there.
He's there. No, there are two of them, but today are they both there?
Oh,
yes. To our viewers, in case you are hearing extra sounds, there's a function right next to where we are. So sorry about the extra sounds that we can be hearing while we're doing commentary. But back to this game, early the middle blocker for UCU is serving 15-8.
It's actually an exhibition, a church exhibition. Yeah, so you're right. They should pardon us when we, have that kind of interference. And to answer your question, that is the bench of UCU. I do see both brothers there. You can see one of them is there going to sit.
I do see
both of them are there. So
yes, I do see both brothers.
I do not understand why. Yeah.
But I don't see Opus.
Is there?
Did he have an injury? What did the coach think?
There.
Because he was performing. I thought maybe he had left. So yeah, it could be strategic. It could be something. But yeah, Ogusu seems not bad, though he plays better on his libero position. On his libero position.
Actually, we had started touting him as one of the best liberos in the country.
I think he still is. I'm not sure as of late. Him and the Nemo libero, I think he still is.
No. Him, the Nemo libero and the KCCA libero.
That's true.
Yeah, Nabanji Sharif.
Yes. The continuous ball there, and he seems to have skill as well
on the attack.
On the attack as well. Yeah. I also do think that Ivan, the setter of Sky, here and there he shows me that he thinks better as a setter as well compared to some of the setters. Yes, he's short, but there are some games where really I'm impressed by his setting. There are some games that he'll come and is very low, but
he's a good setter. I think he's setting for a wrong team. This is my opinion. I think, but he's a very good setter. He is a very good setter.
And look at that back set there that he has just done, and giving his attacker an easy opportunity to score. Actually, the attacker even went up slowly because Ogusu was late there.
Yeah.
Wow. You see, you are deciding to do anything and everything. Did you see that Ogusu went in the middle?
Yeah. I think this is a set where they're enjoying themselves. I don't see any kind of resistance from Sky, unless, of course, things will happen the same way they happened in the previous set.
I doubt the coach would want them to get a point, And the points right now are 11-18. Surely, how comfortable can it get for them to throw away?
Well, we've had a similar set. The previous set was quite similar in many ways.
The 3-pass, outside hit, and Mark is picked. That was a good set and a good pass, a good block there, and Sky still defending. Can they transition? A dump there, and that was too long in the rally for a men's game until Nixon decided, let me go line.
But it was a good set.
Yeah, Sky does have very good defense as well. It's just on their transition, they tend to also give it away easily.
And you can see in this set, even despite the comfortable hit, the coach of UCU is not taking chances.
I mean, I would not. I've given you room to play, room to prove yourself.
And you haven't.
We'll go and fix it at training. 2 services have gone out. And we haven't seen early, by the way. First set he was on fire, hitting the balls, the roof balls that we're talking about.
Well, we see now.
But in this set, is a bit on the quieter side. Are you satisfied with those middle sets, or they are way too low? I think they're personally way too low. And they scored there with an error from Ayala. So the gap is actually reducing. It has reduced to 6 points. We see Sky again having a complaint. I think for me, they're taking a lot of time focusing on complaining instead of just accepting. Like you said, some of these decisions, if we have no challenge system, they are really according to what the referee would have seen. And Mark O'Mara, they're giving that space on the line, but clearly the UCU boys are playing, having the mindset that we have this one in the bag. And it's good to see some of the Sky attackers going up there and challenging that block, to say, you know what, we might be leading, but we're going to go there as well and try to score out of it. Same on the service line, and an easy serve that Ogoso passes in. Nixon on that 1v0, and they've actually given Nixon Ivan to block on that side, but he goes on the band and still manages to score. That was a good set from Hussein as well. What a block! What a block! And that was a block by the setter. It's so rare, especially if the setters have got that height challenge, to see them giving those kill blocks. But Hussein has gotten one, and Mark O'Mara changes the direction of his serve to save to Sam. But Ayala denies that middle by opening up his arms. I love how sometimes some middles are able to read, to say, here I have to open my arms, here I have to bias towards one side. It really takes the good volleyball IQ that we always talk about for a blocker to see that and do that. Mark still on the service line, and he drops that one. And the referee says the ball is out. She's on a high platform, and the ball being on the right side, I would say she must have seen it well. But that was a good pick up there, because that ball was nicely served and nicely dropped by Mark. It's a match point there, and also gets that point. Thank you all for watching. 3-1 is the set scores, and the fourth set is 25-14. So definitely Nemo still proving to us that that point was just, that set was a freebie by them to Sky. And with people like Ogosul obviously playing on that receiver attacker position, surely it says something about how serious they were taking this game. Thank you to all those who are online. Thank you to the technical team. Thank you to S Media for making it possible to be able to get to watch these games. And that ball was indeed out. Good evening. We will see you next week. Not next week, midweek actually, right, Ken? Midweek, we'll see you next midweek. We have some interesting fixtures. Do you happen to have the fixture? The fixture is not yet out, but it will be communicated. So watch out for the midweek fixture at Lugogo MTN Arena Mall. The ladies' game always starts at 6, and then the men's game at 8 p.m. And all these matches will be live on Sporters YouTube volleyball page.
They go back for parents.
Can they give them?